Welcome to the Monday, April 27th episode of Morning Coffee and Chat. Y'all know I brought the coffee. I hope you brought some good chat. This stream almost, almost didn't happen. I have been so pumped for the last probably 5 days, just knowing that tomorrow was coming. I have had a whole new energy level. I have started hearing the horns of Valhalla. Uh, Not important. I've already got somebody in here. Who have I got? It is Cher. Good morning, love. Hope you're doing well this morning. Yep. Tomorrow is the surgery on this eye. I spent the whole day yesterday outside breaking stuff down, going in the trash, cleaning up the yard, picking up sticks, getting everything ready for summer, getting a lot of the clutter and stuff from winter and the mess all cleaned up. It's been dry here for what, like 3 or 4 days now. We're supposed to get some more storms rolling through like tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, possibly. You know, our weathermen um, in their fashion, have actually apparently started listening to me because now they're saying, well, this could do this and this could move this way, and you could see this, but you could see this. So, just in case, because, we've already had more tornadic activity up here so far this year than we've had in the last 5 years. Um, I wanted to go on and get things done because you don't know if you're going to have high winds, hail, rain. Hell, last week up north in Michigan, they were having snow while we were 60 degrees. So I definitely stick to what I told my friend Alan when he was here last time, that Michigan has the weather of and is really close to the same size as Scotland. At the border, you can have sun and a breeze and it be pleasant. And clear up north, it can be snowing and blowing like crazy. So, all right, now the chat's starting to happen. All right, let me get in here just a little bit. All right, let me see here. Share. There's Mr. Holton. Leaky roof, not a great morning. Well, no. It's really funny. I just said something to my mom yesterday about needing to get this roof done. But when these get fixed, I'm going to do it myself. I'm not paying somebody $100 an hour to go up there and put 150 square shingles on. I'll do it myself. Um, I'm doing well tonight and had a good day. That is always good. Um, 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 Justin, good morning, bud. Hope you're doing well. Ready for the activities this summer. Tony, good morning, bud. Um, hey, Drew, how you doing? Drew is doing wonderful. Uh, my sleepy time medicine is apparently working really well because I took it at about 10 o'clock last night. Went to bed at like 7 minutes after midnight and didn't get out of bed until just after 7 o'clock this morning. So I'm doing twice as well as I was 3 weeks ago. Um, um, where's that? Good morning. Okay, there's that one. David, good morning, bud. Good to see you. David Justin, good morning, Tony. Sarah Doll, good morning, Sarah, sweetie. Hope you're doing well this morning. Water, water soaking my bed. I, I'm not going to say anything. I'm actually not going to say, I'm not going to comment about that. I'm not going to say a bloody word. I really want to, but I'm not going to do it. You're not going to trick me. I'm not going to do it. Um, doing okay, getting ready for Mansfield, Ohio. Mansfield, Ohio this weekend. How about that? Oop, I think I just, like, wait, morning. Who that? That's Jan. Morning, sis. Hope you're doing good this morning. How's the weather there? About ready to go to the lake. Um, well, yesterday our weather was in the 60s. The day before that, 60s. Day before that, 40s. So, we're still kind of doing the up and down thing a little bit. Um, for the next few days, it's supposed to be warm with a chance of meatballs. I don't know. It's supposed to be warm and with a chance of possibly severe thunder showers. It's like I was saying a few minutes ago, I spent the whole day yesterday outside. If I wasn't cleaning or picking up or raking or weed eating some dandelions or something like that, I don't know why I'm weed eating. I guess to make the stuff up close to things look good because we still don't have a lawnmower. So, yeah. And nobody around here that I have had a chance to talk to is going around doing any mowing this year. So, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. If I actually have the energy and the gumption to go out in the sunlight and not be blinded to and want to go out and spend the day mowing and I can't, I'm going to be one pissed off puppy. Oh, man, let me see here. I'm good, thanks. I found a bunch of mowers for like $50 on Facebook Marketplace and stuff, but yeah, it might as well be $500. Um, and saying you are not going to say a thing about something is in fact saying something about it. Saying I'm not going to say something about something is in fact saying something about it. That actually does make sense in that Tony-ish kind of way. But then let me rephrase it. I could have made some very off-color statements about Tyler's bed being used to being wet, or whose fault is it, yours or the old lady. I mean, I could have went anywhere with it, but I didn't. I did not. I simply said I wasn't going to. Did the dog pee on? I mean, it could have been. I could have gone anywhere with it. Happy upcoming Father's Day. All four kids stood around you during the night and peed on your bed. I mean, I could have gone anywhere with it. By the way, Drew, getting merchandise figured out. Worked on getting Facebook page and store up and running. Very cool. That's something I really want to do for this channel and the other one, and for TikTok, and Instagram. I've had a lot of TikTok followers ask me about merch, and of course, everybody knows that I will gladly accept merch from other channels to, if they're paranormal channels or haunted history channels or something like that, I will gladly wear them at investigations. If they're, a regular channel like this one, I will gladly wear them or wear their merch, drink out of their coffee cups, wear their ball cap, whatever the case may be during my videos and stuff here. A little bit of cross advertising. I need Mo, and it is supposed to storm. Did you? Who that? That's Jan. Did I have surgery? No, tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, this eye. Then I got to come home and play completely blind man and lay on the couch. Wednesday, we have to go over to the main office, which is much closer than where the surgery done, and then have it checked out, and then sit around here with my thumb up my Watusi for 5 days, and then go back to the lake again to get this one worked on. Uh, Wash, rinse, repeat. And then on Tuesday, go to the main office and have this one checked out. And hopefully they don't mess anything up. Drop a. I don't even know what they drop in there, but hopefully everything goes well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Blah, 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 blah. I said my roof was leaking and my bed is soaked. Not sure how you can take that any other way. Um, I'm too tired to think right now. Yeah, I'm tired. Went to bed at little after midnight, woke up a little after 7. I'm tired. So, oh yeah, I'm very happy it's not your basement leaking either. Um, yeah, I know. Going through my basement does leak too. My basement leaks too. Don't think, Drew. He never thinks. Hey, screw you. I think a lot. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to do a lot of work in here. Um, Mainly because you know the last 2 doctor's visits I was at, my blood pressure was slightly elevated. Of course, I tried to explain to him it was because, I was dealing with my parents being here, which always elevates my blood pressure. Yeah, after 65 years of marriage, they act like newlyweds, pick, 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 pick. Yeah, I'll give you the perfect I'll give you the perfect example, and the wife and I will still sit and giggle about this. When they were up here 3 weeks ago, my dad was out on the back porch with me. Mom was in the kitchen playing cards with Steph and her aunt, and my mom was learning about their diamond art and stuff like this. Well, my dad would just randomly get up, walk around the corner of the house, and I'd see these little puffs of smoke. He come walking back, and he said, "Those hostas are looking really pretty over there at the side of the house." Of course, he didn't BS me for nothing because, he taught me all the BS that I know. And I looked at him and I said, "Thought you and Mom quit smoking." "Well, she did, but, I still have one every once in a while. I maybe only smoke 3 or 4 of them a day. Just depends on, what I'm doing." I said, "Where she's at?" He goes, "Yeah, pretty much." After they left to go back to Tennessee, me and the wife were in the bedroom. We were watching TV, and she looks at me, or I tell her about Dad and his secret fixation with still smoking his ultralight cigarette. How anybody can smoke an ultralight anything, I'll never know. You got to cut the filter off and sprinkle, Banaka or something on it to even taste the damn thing. But I was telling her about Dad sneaking around the house to smoke. She started laughing. She goes, "Every time you and your dad would take off to go for a ride to look at town or something, Mom would ask me or Aunt D for a cigarette." So come to find out, after 65 years, they have smoked, they've quit smoking, they've smoked, they've quit smoking. Last year they were smoking, then this year they supposedly quit, but they're sneaking around each other, still smoking after 65 years. My dad was always that person that whenever whenever Mom would say something about something he was doing or something he did, Dad would always just jokingly say, Oh, shut up, quit bitching. Now, at 85 years old, he is sneaking around smoking. My mom, at 80 years old, is sneaking around behind his back smoking. Now I finally understand why she don't let him drive her car, because she still keeps her little ashtray in the car. Mom don't drive dad's truck because he's still got his little ashtray in the truck. Oh, we keep them there for people that ride around with us or something so they can smoke. And again, I'm calling BS. Mom, Dad, I really honestly hope that you decided to get up this morning, even though it's only 21 after 7 down there. I really honestly hope that y'all decided to get up and fire up Dad's laptop and watch this stream, which I really honestly doubt because my dad don't know anything about YouTube or his laptop for that matter. Hell, you try to contact him on Messenger, he can't even figure out how to respond to anything. So he's had his profile on Facebook now for 6 months, and he's got a picture of himself and happy birthday from me and my sister. All right, let's try this. Drew thinks too much some days. Drew thinks way too much some days. Diamond art is fun. I do a bit of that. Um, well, I can't get to it right now. My wife done a baby Yoda, a little Grogu, and he's like back up here on the wall. Um, haven't got a frame for him yet, but you know, me being the Star Wars fan that I am for almost 50 years, um, yeah, she done me a Grogu, and I got to admit that's the cutest bloody thing I ever seen in my life. He's right up here on the wall, back behind these cases. About yay big. I really wish she could find a larger one of the Mandalorian with Grogu in his bag down on his hip or something. Yeah, I've been a Star Wars fan since I was 9 years old, y'all. I mean, when they came out with the stuffed baby Grogus and stuff like that, it's all I wanted. It's all I wanted. And still to this day, I can't find the bloody things anywhere. Not that I could really afford one, but you know, that's like getting my lightsaber. I have friends my age and younger who duel with the lightsabers and stuff. And I hate to tell these kids, but I was using broomsticks. Me and my friends were using broomsticks and working out really good sword fighting techniques. Uh, 49 years ago. I've yeah, I've had a chance to play with a couple of them before, and those things are nice. They're so much easier to maneuver than a broomstick. Um, let me see here. Morning share. That's funny. That is reliving the thrill of mucking when you were kids, smoking when you were kids. Smoking is bad for you. So sex. I've heard of too many cases of people dying. Nope. Nope. Gave up that too. Gave up drinking. Won't give up smoking though. Both families are smokers, and frankly, when we do like the reunion or a get together or something like that, you do not want to be the only non-smoker among 50, 60, or with, her family reunion up north in July, 300 smokers. It's a good way to become the top serial killer in history. Life is bad for you. Yeah, yeah. And here comes the May the 4th be with you soon. Oh, yes, most definitely. Most definitely. Next week, hoping to make our life better out here on the farm, getting things ready for the vegetable garden, sorghum, corn, orchard, and herbs. Yeah, that's kind of sort of what my initial plan was, um, when I thought we were going to be able to get the mower fixed. I've got all this leftover lumber from the deck, when her son put it in 2 summers ago, and I was going to build a bunch of boxes since the soil out here is so rocky from where the house sat and everything, and any place that it's not rocky is filled with bloody tree roots. So you really can't dig into anything around here. So I was going to build 7 or 8 boxes and plant my tomatoes, my peppers, my beans, potatoes in those planter boxes. And, well, needless to say, I'm not going to build a bunch of bloody elevated boxes, um, if I can't even get an initial mow on my yard. Like I said, ever since I found out that I was not going to be blind for the rest of my life, I have I've started building myself, not a honey-do list, but more of a hey dumbass, you're going to do this list. Um, and getting some landscaping done, getting rid of those bloody pine trees out here, um, building my planter boxes, getting the roof done, really starting to make this place look like a home and more like a 90 or an 85-year old's leftover, given to her granddaughter and never maintained home. Probably because, for, 2 years now, I've not been able to see to do anything. Yesterday was really hard getting out there and working. I mean, thank God it wasn't super sunny. It was mostly overcast all day, so it wasn't as bad. Now, I mean, if it was sunny, there's no way I could have done it. I wouldn't have been able to see anything laying on the ground. I wouldn't have been able to even see the shape of the grass in the driveway to weed eat or anything like that. I'm very happy that the surgery is tomorrow because this eye, it's it's not far behind the right eye. I'm sitting in here right now. Today's actually not too awful bad. I mean, I can see red, silver, brown, black, but they're all smeared together, and they've all got that haze over them. I can see my screen right here with the blue and the yellow and the white on black, but I can't see where my screen ends and the black on the wall begins. So if y'all have never had cataracts, it's going to be really kind of hard to understand. I mean, imagine your eyes being super bad anyway and not wearing your glasses, but then not only not wearing your glasses, but trying to drive somewhere at twilight on a super, super foggy day. And, that is what that's a pretty decent comparison to what having cataracts is like. Um, I don't even know how to scientifically explain it. Yeah, all I know is it's if you need to wear glasses and you've had to wear glasses most of your life, and you decide not to wear them and drive on a foggy morning when the sun's coming up, that's what cataracts is like. So I'm just very, very relieved that come Wednesday morning I get to move this puppy over to this eye because this one they're saying they're saying it by the time it was all over with, both eyes will be bloody near perfect. So, my mom and dad, when they had their cataract surgery, they didn't even have to wear their glasses anymore. I mean, it literally fixed it. The old man would put his glasses on to like read. But other than that, driving and stuff like that, he didn't even have to wear his glasses anymore. And he still don't now, 2 years later. Um, I was never into Star Wars that much. Um, Neither has killed me yet. Our potatoes were planted 2 weeks ago. And, I know I should have probably, forced some goodies in a bucket or something like that. But with me not working since November, um, things are pretty tough around here. I don't know if it's happened in you guys' towns or anything lately, but in the last since the first of the year, since January 1st, our water bills have skyrocketed here. We went from a $50, $75 water bill to almost $175 water bill. And, it's like I was trying to explain to my mom and dad, everybody, the whole town has noticed a almost 200% increase in their water bills. And a lot of people in town believe that when the town got these new sidewalks, these brand new musical light poles with the little sprinklers, so you can hang a pot on each of the arms and it automatically on a timer will water the flowers. They've got color changing lights on them so they can be white or they can be blue or they can be blue green intervals going down the road. They're all Wi-Fi connected to the town, so they play music at the very top. They paid $15,000, $20,000 per light pole, and put in 50 of them in town, 40 of them. They ripped up all the old water pipes, put brand new water pipes in. They tore up the old original sidewalks, turn of the 20th century sidewalks, and put these three-tone gray blocks in, and done all the downtown sidewalks and stuff. They put in that new pier, they put in the beach. And we think the city has realized, hey, we spent a good chunk of the $9 million we got from the federal government But if we up our utilities, we can make that money back. Now, understand, nobody here is using any more water than we have for the last decade. There is no reason for a water bill to double or triple um, in a day. In December, we were still paying about $75 a month. In January, it automatically jumped to $175 a month. You know, her car, they 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 agreed to fix her car for $600. She went to pick up her car after the $600 was paid at the beginning. They want $380 because they uh, had to go out and get parts for it because they couldn't find junk parts anywhere. That's what they were going to do, was fix her car using used parts. They couldn't do that with all the parts. So now they want to charge her $380. And, so yeah, pay that bill, and then you're short on like the house payment or the water bill or something like that. I seen a video the other day where our fearless leader was talking about a family of three should be able to eat for a day on like $3 and change because of how much he has dropped food costs. He needs to come to our town and do some shopping at our grocery store because nothing's dropped. Nothing's dropped. Hamburger's still almost $7 a pound. Chicken is almost $4 a pound. I don't even want to talk about ham. When I went to try to find a turkey for Thanksgiving, the cheapest turkey I found was $31. And that was a small bird. I mean, hell, that thing wasn't 12 pounds, wasn't 11 pounds. And when we were at the store the other day, I was looking at the size of the turkeys, and the cheapest turkey I found was $45. Things better change real quick because I am starting to seriously look for Asian recipes and staring very intently at the cats running around this neighborhood. Kitten McNuggets. Not a lot of meat on them. It will be 4 years for me at the end of September, and I still only wear glasses for reading. I'm good for driving and anything else I do. I know you've had one of the greatest success stories when it comes to cataract surgery. I'm just really hoping that they flub up and accidentally stick. I don't know if any of you guys seen the Matt LeBlanc version of Lost in Space, what, a decade and a half ago when it came out. But if y'all remember right at the very beginning of the movie, he got in his little combat shuttle and he sat down and they showed his face and he sat down. He had these little things in his eyes and went beep, 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 beep. That's the kind of lenses I want. where it automatically amplifies and magnifies and shows all the freaking data at the sides in your peripherals and everything, range. I want them to accidentally stick something like that in my eye. I want bionic eyes. I want to go to St. Joe, Michigan, and look west and be able to see Navy Pier in Chicago. Them's the kind of eyes I want. Before I forget, thanks for the talk the other day. Dude, anytime. I have told y'all multiple times. I try to stay busy, but I never am too busy to take a messenger um, message or a messenger call, or if you have my actual phone number, to take a regular call and sit and talk. I'm never too busy for it. And especially this group that I consider family, I'm never too busy to take time out of my day to spend with you. Because regardless, whether I'm doing the things that I planned on doing or I have to add a couple more things to it or I have to just put my list to the side and dedicate my time to you, it's worthwhile time spent. Plain and simple. Where have where have pie prices dropped? Apparently in Washington, because if he thinks you can feed a family of three for almost a little less than $4 a day, apparently their stuff is back in the 1970s again. I mean, you're talking, you know, 49 cents for a pound of hamburger, 25 cents for a chicken. Apparently they've dropped. Well, now that's not fair to say. I have done price comparisons with my family in Indiana, with my mom and dad in Tennessee. I've come to find out, and it seems very weird, and it's not a huge difference, but there's a tremendous difference in price between red states and blue states. Indiana, a blue state. My sister is paying less for gas. She's paying less for food. Um, Tennessee, it's higher than Indiana, but not as high as Michigan now. My mom used to be a dollar and a half cheaper on gas than we are, but now hers has finally broke that 379, where we're 459 for gas up here. Believe me, I heard about it when they were here. And, I don't care how long I live, I will never forget Alan when he was here last time. And he was sitting in the back seat of the wife's SUV while we stopped to get gas. And he was like, Christ, you're paying for a gallon what we pay for a liter. Yep, yep. People here complain about paying what were we paying then, like 259, 249, 239, something like that. And he's paying upwards of $12 a gallon, and we're getting it for, or yeah, he's paying upwards of $12 a gallon, but we're paying like 239 a gallon. But over there where he lives at, they're paying, you know, what, 239 times four. I hate talking on the phone. Therefore, oh wait, um, most before most politicians have not set foot in a grocery store since the 70s. Yeah, tell me about it. Um, when I take my car to get work done on it, I tell my mechanic what my max budget is, and he keeps it under that. See, you got good mechanics. Our mechanics over here are charging upwards of $165 an hour for labor alone. That don't count parts. So, yeah. See, the job on our car is only a 5 hour job. So, by all rights and means, that $600 would have covered labor. And I just kind of had a feeling. I just kind of had a feeling. And I was right, as usual. Oh, we didn't bid the whole job, we just bid the labor on it. Yeah, but you've had the car for 4 months. I mean, you literally had it since the third week of January, and we just got it back the third week of April because you couldn't find the damn parts. Then you finally had to go out and buy two parts, and you're going to charge us $380 for $35 in parts. Um, Souped up recipes on YouTube is great for Chinese recipes. Yeah, there you go. I know. I just wanted to say thank you because very appreciated and helpful with your input. I hate talking on the phone, therefore, I'm always too busy. Indiana ain't blue. Well, apparently it is because the governor is a Trump supporter. Where up here, our governor isn't. Food prices aren't too bad here in my part of Connecticut. Illinois is blue, although the map shows us 95% red. Food is expensive here in Australia too. It's getting out of control. Good morning. Who dat? KG, good morning, dear. Hope you and Walker doing good this morning. Oh, you can't die. Dying good. That is red. Blue is Democrat. Well, then I got them backwards. I got them backwards. Let's just put it this way because obviously I'm colorblind or handicapped, really can't tell the difference anymore with me. But any state that says, yay, Mr. President, is cheaper than any state that says, boo, Mr. President. So, yeah. I just subbed to souped up recipes. I need to learn some Chinese recipes. I actually told the wife that one of the very first things that I want to do when I get both eyes um, fixed is broaden out my repertoire of being able to cook. And I'm thinking very seriously about making her sushi. I've got some really good sushi recipes up here, but and she loves sushi and sashimi, but I've never been able to roll it right. So I'm going to make her sushi rolls. On the other hand, I like my food cooked. So she can sit down and eat sushi while I'm sitting down and eating a chicken fried steak or fried chicken or something like that. That's the way I look at it. I put, I just wrote, oh, well, the Republicans tend to be less in favor of taxation, and not to say opposed. Ooh, I am not a sushi fan. Neither am I. Neither am I. I won't even try it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sushi is steamed fish, but it's the idea of being a minced up something. I don't know if it's the texture. I don't know what it is. I mean, it is not actually raw. It's steamed. Not for me. I want fried. I want cooked on the grill. I want baked. Hell, I'll even use the air fryer. Steamed? No. And sushi? No. Um, I don't like most fish. No, I'll eat the crap out of fish. I got some nice rods, reels, and tackle box now full of very expensive tackle. That was always worked really good on Tennessee fish. This stuff come from my mom and dad's neighbor that passed away. His wife gave them to mom and dad so they wouldn't go out and spend money on stuff for me. But yeah, old Ralph before he passed away, that's all he done for about 50 years was fish. Matter of fact, he'd been in a couple fishing competitions with this tackle and well, one of the rods that I've got. So mom and dad have got a buttload of tackle and fishing rods and stuff. So they brought me Ralph's stuff, and I can't wait. I can't wait to be able to go down here to the lake and fish and bring home a mess of bluegill or catfish or even bass and sit out here like my grandpa used to do on one of my folding tables and either fillet them or just clean them real good and scale them and bread the bluegill up and cook them right there in my big cast iron skillet. I got a big cast iron chicken skillet. Got walls on it about that big, right? Probably 4.5 inches tall, maybe. Get my oil in there, get my little fishies all breaded up, and throw them in there. Um, except for Long John Silver's. It's been so long since I've had Long John Silver's. And we got one 20, 25 minutes away. Been forever since I had Long John Silver's. I eat mostly freshwater fish, except for tuna. I'll eat chicken of the sea, make tuna salad or something. But mostly for us, it's salmon. That's always a big thing around here. Long John Silver's. I gotta renew my fishing. license this year. I need to get a fishing license this year. The only problem is here in Michigan, you got to get a. They've got them tagged up with small game permits, so you can't have one without the other. So you got to get a fishing license and a small game permit together for me to be able to go down and fish. Apparently, I'm going to use my rod and one of the real nice four-prong hooks to catch a bunny or something, or pull a squirrel out of a tree or some dumb shit. I don't know. Um, I might do some fishing this year and sneak in a little magnet fishing too. That sounds fun. I've had stingray. I've had stingray. I had stingray in Texas. Um, when we went out to Galveston Bay and done some night fishing one time, we caught more stingrays and small sharks than we did anything else. And both of them are super good eating. Oh, goodness gracious sakes, man. No matter no matter how busy I am, I cannot get tomorrow out of my head. I was trying to tell the wife last night. She was out there cooking dinner or getting dinner ready because I cooked on the grill last night. Done burgers on the grill. She made homemade pasta salad. And, you know, we were, I was out there doing the dishes and I told her, I said, I cannot believe how I feel so much younger and enthusiastic now. I had pretty much given up on the fact of ever seeing again. I was going to be a burden. I was going to be just one more thing that her and the daughter had to keep an eye on, and I wasn't going to be worth my weight. Not being able to do anything, nothing. And since I found out I could get these eyes fixed, it's like a brand new lease on life. I told her, I said, I feel 35 again. I'm energetic, which also, the medicine that they have me on that I take once a week, um, Monjaro or whatever it's called. Um, it's helped me to lose weight. I've dropped like 5 pounds because I have no desire to really eat. Um, this other medicine's got me sleeping, 6, 7 hours a night. The idea of getting my eyes fixed, being able to see, to do things again. I'm I'm so full of energy and gumption now that I I, I can't think of the words to describe it. It's just amazing. Um, I have magnet kit sitting in my closet. Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. Be right back. Forgot to put trash out. Wookie said, "What's up?" Tell Mr. Wook I said, "What's up?" Good morning, all who dat. That's Santee. Good morning, Santee. Hope you're doing good this morning, bud. Um, so happy about the eyes. Do you get a procedure on the patch? Do you get a procedure on the patched eye? Then yes, yes, the patched eye. That is Santee. Okay, yeah, the patched eye they're actually going to do first. That's the one they're doing tomorrow. So, I wanted to let you guys know too. There will not be a stream next Monday. I have to leave here at 8:30 to head 45 minutes west over against the lake, um, to to get ready for the procedure on this eye. This week, Tuesday morning. Next week, Monday morning. I had actually considered, doing a stream on Tuesday next week, but they don't want me doing anything, um, because of the anesthesia and, the degree of the cataracts in my eyes. I've got to go in to the doctor, to the surgical center on Monday next week, and then go over to the main office in Niles Tuesday morning, to have the eye checked out. That's like tomorrow. I'll go over and get this one worked on tomorrow morning, and then Wednesday morning we have to go into Niles, Michigan, to get this eye checked out and everything. And I put my little UV sunglasses on and, uh, come home and sleep. Uh, they want they want to get the surgery done and then a whole day of rest afterwards. So that's as per doctor's order. Um, I'm very happy about it too, believe me. T ceiling tomorrow, yay. I slept quite a bit over the weekend. 5 hour nap Saturday, two 2 to 3 hour nap Sunday. I was pretty run down. Yeah, it sounds like it. That's unusual for you. But then again, I've come to find out too, and my doctor keeps telling me, if your body don't need it, you're not going to start getting tired and want to lay down. So even though I don't like doing it, I also look at it from the standpoint that normally when I do get tired and want to lay down on the couch or something for a couple hours, I've done already been up for, 8, 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours. So, yeah. And I don't care what anybody says. And I'm here to tell you younger folks this. I know we don't have a lot of younger folks in here, but I'm going to go on and say this anyway. Using this for 10 or 12 or 14 hours is no different than using this for 10 or 12 or 14 hours. It'll still make you tired. So don't let anybody tell you, well, you don't do anything but sit around and do this all day. Yeah, you're still using energy. Like I said, I spent the whole day yesterday outside working around the yard and stuff, and I slept exactly the same amount of time last night that I did Saturday night after doing nothing on Saturday. Exactly on the spot. I woke up at exactly 4 minutes after 7 both days and went to bed at almost the exact moment both nights. So don't let anybody ever tell you that you get more exhausted from physical labor than you do from mental labor. You get just as exhausted either way. Of course, I'm still an hour down on my sleep that the doctor says I should have every night. But I have never met somebody who sleeps for hours a night, not in one burst. Hell, if I slept for 8 hours in one night, I'd wake up and wouldn't know what I was doing the next day. And before anybody says anything, yes, I am putting cream and sugar in my coffee. See, the only bad thing about getting your eye surgery done is you have to skip out on all your diabetic medicine the day of your surgery. Well, the pill that I take, that's easy to skip out on. I just don't take that pill that morning. The Mounjaro, I only take once a week. And they want you to take it on the same day every week. So your body has it coming into your system and it's ready for it. Well, I had to skip Friday's shot because of tomorrow, which means I have to go a whole week without it. And I'll be honest with you, one day of skipping on that shot and you feel your appetite go after 2 days, it blows through the roof, puts in a brand new, sunroof, the whole shebang. We got some breaded tenderloin fritters, some breaded pork fritters. Now, when I was 14 years old, I was eating 2 pork fritters. The wife made me 2 pork fritters about 2 weeks ago, and I ate one and struggled to get about 3 bites out of the other one before I stuck it in a bag and put it in the refrigerator. Yesterday, I made those hamburgers on the grill, and understand, my wife don't make smash burgers for the grill. I make the smash burgers. She pattied these things out. These things were half-pound hamburger patties. I loaded that puppy down. Mayo, mustard, onion, tomato, lettuce. And I mean, these things are about that thick and they're, that big around. And I ate 2 of them puppies. And then they ate a great big helping of macaroni salad or pasta salad. And I was still hungry. I can't imagine what it's going to be like around here come Friday morning. Because I don't even normally get hungry until 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I woke up this morning hungry. It does not pay to get off your medicine when you don't have the food in the house to eat. I woke up this morning and couldn't figure out what was in my mouth until I realized that I was chewing on Ralph's tail. I don't know if it's a hairy hot dog, what the hell I was dreaming about. No, seriously, he was right there wrapped around me. He could tell my medicine's off. It's so funny with that cat. 8 years old, he's been with me, and he knows me like a book. He knows me better than the wife and daughter does. He knows when my sugar's up. He knows when my sugar's down. He knows when my uh, my biochemical system is off for whatever reason. It's just a fun. I mean, he don't leave my side. If I swear to God, if that cat had fingers, he could call 911 if something ever happened to me around here. I'm lucky. 4 to 6 hours of sleep. I don't think I have ever slept 8 hours straight. Neither have I. I've slept for four, got up for 5 or 6 hours, and slept for 4 or 5 more. Now, when I'm sick, that is a whole different critter. When I am sick, I will sleep 2 or 3 hours in bed and then get up, drink a cup of coffee, go lay on the couch, and sleep for another 8 or 9 hours on the couch, but not in my bed. When I'm fine, when I'm not sick, no, no, I'll sleep 3 or 4 hours in bed, get up for 3, 4, 5 hours, and then go lay on the couch and sleep for 3 or 4 hours more. I ran out of milk and cream. I'm even out of powdered milk. Oh, God. My sleep is all over the place lately. I forced myself to stay awake today. Oh, coffee. I ordered. It was on fresh Colombian coffee. It's pretty damn good coffee. I love Colombian coffee. Coffee gives me migraines. I'm a mild girl. Mild girl for a hot drink. I drink mostly instant coffee. I don't know what Milo is. Milo is an Aussie drink. It's a malt drink. We drink it hot. Cold. Also put it in our ice cream. Yummy. I like malt, so I might like that stuff. Yeah, I've never heard of Milo either. That's it's quite interesting. Huh. It's actually quite interesting. I'd probably like Milo. But, you guys know I don't drink soda or anything anymore. Um, I drink water. I drink flavored water and I drink coffee. One thing I've always wanted to try, and somehow, some way, I'll find a way to do it. There's a drink in Scotland called Iron Brew. I have got to try Iron Brew. I hear it is the best thing in the world. And for those of you dealing with diabetes like I do, they make a diet Iron Brew. We used to have malted milk shakes here. Oh my God, yes, those things are awesome. I don't know if those are still around. I don't either. I remember seeing one here about 5 years ago in a carton, but I don't think I've really seen them since then. Milo is a powdered drink. I'll send a small tin of Milo. Okay, thank you, Cher. I appreciate that. The last malted milkshake I had was summer of '91. Wow. It was a long time before that was the last time I actually drank one. We have Milo here in the States, but it's got a slightly different formula than the Australian. Keep adding things to that parcel that you're sending, and you're going to have to wind up sending a shipping container. If you happen to run across a baby kangaroo or something too, you can shove that in the box. Stick some leaves or something in there. I don't know. I'm just rambling. I can't even concentrate on today. I so wanted to be able to get up this morning and be able to concentrate on, get working on the next video and getting this live stream done. And of course, the wife made plans today and didn't tell me about them, which is normal practice, but still, the daughter has a doctor's appointment this morning. They're going to get her state ID. After her doctor's appointment, then we're going to the son-in-law and daughter-in-law's to spend the afternoon. Um, Basically, go over there and sit around and not do much of nothing. Um, yeah, God, that's something else I got to do. Crap, I forgot. Get these eyes fixed. I got to start getting everything organized for the Ren Fair in that'll be the that'll be the 5th. So in 11 days, I have got to get everything organized, get my new outfit made, since I can't even thread a needle now, let alone sew a straight line. Um, I got to figure out the lodging. Still no bloody tent. I got a lot of stuff to get done in 11 days. Um, the last Aussie Milo is the best. Um, I'm sorry, stepson and stepdaughter. I don't know why I said in-law. Stepson, stepdaughter, her son and his wife, and then the granddaughters. When we were going to actually go over there on Sunday, and he had to work this weekend, and she said, just let me know, and maybe we'll do it next weekend, right before Drew gets his other eye worked on. And I guess he called her yesterday morning and said, tomorrow, 1 o'clock. And of course, she said, okay, and didn't tell me until 6 o'clock last night that we're supposed to be there at 1. Now, I don't know if the wife just hasn't been to a DMV in a long time, but if she thinks that she's going to go into a DMV on a Monday at noon or even at 11 and be home by 12:15 to take off and drive for 40 minutes. She's nuts. The last time I went to a DMV just to get my ID, I was there for 4 hours. So, yeah. And this kid's never had an ID. So she's going to have to go through all the stuff. She's going to have to go through getting her picture taken. She's going to, hell, when I went, all they did is use the same. I've still got the same picture on my bloody ID that I had when I weighed 265 pounds. I look like a furry balloon. I mean, my face was clear out here. I had this a brown beard, brown hair. Looked like I had Down syndrome or something. But you know, I'll get off here. I'll go get in the tub, get my head shaved, get all this cleaned up and stuff, and be sitting here waiting at 3 for them to still get home to be there at 1. Um, the smaller DMVs here are fairly quick. If you guys will excuse me for a second, I need to run to the potty. Y'all talk real nice amongst yourselves, and yeah, I'll be back to catch up on the chat from y'all. You know, talking nice amongst yourselves and all. Crazy damn animals. All right. Yes, everything came out fine. Oh. All right, let's see here. When I got my license swapped over, um, a Victorian one, the silly woman at VIC Roads asked me if I to keep my heavy vehicle endorsement on it. Yeah, that's how I made $1. I'd keep all my information on it. I don't know how long after I stopped riding a motorcycle that I still had my motorcycle endorsement. Um, I wanted all my information on there. So when they pull mine out and they scan the little code on the back of it, it's got everything listed. Zombie, what is up, man? Just popping in to say hi. Just run back to work. Well, I'm glad you just popped in to say hi. I mean, more the merrier, the way I look at it. Even if you can just run by the window and wave, smile, and keep right on going. Okay, there is thunder. It is time to disconnect my ham antennas. Yeah, definitely. I just renewed my driver's license online last week. I got my motorcycle endorsement the last renewal before this one. I've told you guys I'm planning on, you know, getting my driver's license back. Um, and that is one more of those things that I want to do, um, is to build my rat trike. Um, there's a place just east of here, um, heading out towards Three Rivers, Michigan, and it is basically it is a motorcycle graveyard. They have anything and everything out there, and frankly, I want to build my rat trike. If nothing else, just something that the wife and I can take off and enjoy on her day off or something, even if it's just for a couple hours. You know, have our parades here in town and put my flags up. You know, plug my side speakers in and everything, or even put her and the daughter on the bench behind the driver's seat. Um, that's something I'd like to do. I watched the old man build a trike, and understand comparison in price. This was like 1978. I was only like 10 years old, but back then things were so much more affordable. And I watched him build a trike, and he had a custom purple glitter fiberglass body built for it. I only paid, you know, $400 or $500 to have that made, and it had seats in the fender wells, so my mom could sit behind him. My sister and I both had seats with seat belts on them, on the fender wells. The one that I want to build, I want to pay homage to a guy from southern Indiana who built a rat trike, and the whole floor pan was made out of diamond plate, and he had a bench or a bucket seat up front for him, and then he had two bench seats in the back. Now, one sat on his level and one sat slightly higher because the Chevy 350 that this thing ran was underneath the back seat. But he had this thing was definitely rat fink all the way. I mean, it looked like a Bikenstein. He had pipes that come out of the exhaust manifold and went up at an angle. They had flamethrowers on them. So, when it come time to start that bike up, he just flipped the switch and popped a little bit of fuel in there where the spark plugs were at. And this thing had flames coming out of the top of the pipes and stuff. That dude was really, really cool. And it's one of the last Fink builders um, around this part of the Midwest. So wouldn't you know? I know where there's a 305 at right now, sitting right over here in the neighbor's garage, and he was just telling me yesterday he didn't know what he was going to do with it because him and his wife both have their the first Camaros that they owned when they were teenagers. He's got both of them sitting over in the garage over here, and he's going to start working on his Camaro this summer. So, hush puppies. I forgot I just threw that lighter away. Come on, Handy Drew. Come on, Handy Drew. Arg. Little gift from Mom and Dad. They wanted to make sure I didn't run out of lighters anytime soon. I dropped before the last getting hit by. There's a hell of a lightning storm about 20 miles south of me. I love thunderstorms. Been very close to getting hit by lightning a few times. Next time we're talking, remind me of lightning storms, Cher, and I will. And it's kind of ironic that you mentioned that, and that made me think of this. But remind me about thunderstorms and lightning the next time we talk on Messenger, and I will tell you the story of the weekend that I met the guy who built that trike that I was just talking about. And when I come within about 30 feet of getting hit by lightning, it was a very enlightening experience, very eye-opening. If I were to build something like that, I would look at front wheel drive car, drivetrain. Not a bad idea. There was a small company here in Connecticut that used to build trikes around V8 engines. They were insane. Oh, some of those trikes are insane. And one of the things that made me stick out about Michael's trike was the fact that he had like a 9 on the forks, and that it was nothing but chromed, welded chain, like huge freaking construction chain. And these things sat at a 9 off the front of his bike, and right on the front fender. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, he had a tire on the front of that bike that was probably 6 inches wide, but the tires on the back were 60 slicks. And he had 4 tires on the back of this thing, 2 on each side, butted up like a dually. And he had this huge, must have been 4 feet tall, rat fink that sat on his fender, and it had like the little gear shift that come up off the fender, and Rat Fink sitting there and had his hand on the ball on the gear shift, that big smile on his face. His eyes were the headlights. So when he's driving down the road, old Rat Fink just sitting there with his own little gear shift on that front fender, just enjoying the ride. But at night, he'd flip his little toggle switch, and Rat Fink's eyes would light up. He had a light in each eye, and then he had a center light that was mounted between Rat Fink's legs on the fender. And I mean, this thing was a true rat bike. I just, and I mean, the whole thing was just straight up matte black primer, nothing fancy about it. There was nothing fancy about it. This thing looks like it was built by a group of junior high kids that had a pile of parts and didn't know what to do with them all. But by God, that bike served a purpose. My dad asked me why I want a trike. I said, well, I'm getting old. If I'm out there and I'm enjoying my ride, as old as I'm getting, I could very well pull up to a stoplight or something and forget to put my feet down. With a bike or with a trike, I don't got to worry about it. I don't ever got to move. If you are interested in lightning monitoring, check out lightningmaps.org. I don't know if it is outside North America. I love it. I love watching thunderstorms. They make the daughter as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Me, I'll sit and watch them coming across the sky and never even think where is my mappy at? There it is. What do we got coming our way? Oh, we have a very pretty huge ring going from the center of Lake Michigan all the way down through Indiana, back into Kentucky, and back into Missouri and Illinois. It's all yellow and red. What direction are these storms? Oh, they're coming this way. move this map up a little bit. Well, the ones that are getting ready to hit Tony, look like they might move north of us, but there's storms down south of there that looks like they're going to hit us head on. Going to be another interesting day. Oh, goodness gracious sakes. Found a blacksmith. Well, what he is he's a weapons maker. Um, but he makes a lot of different kinds of Viking axes. He makes Viking swords, makes Viking saxes. Um, I contacted him the other day about vending for him, and his stuff is cheap, and that's what sucks about it. I mean, it's not cheap material, but he makes it cheap. And his suggestion to me was to purchase one each of his pieces, or whatever pieces I'm interested in, test them out myself, and if I think that they'll sell, he'll hook me up with a wholesale deal, and I'll be honest about it, I could triple what he's asking for some of these things, and they would still be cheaper than that crap that you go out and buy at a store. Um, yeah, or that you can get online. These things are all battle ready. Of course, I'm still looking for a printer, somebody who prints, not a printer. Um, I've got a printer, and I've got a Cricut, and I don't have any place to take them or put them, and hate to just give them away. That's $300 worth of stuff there. But still looking for a printer that can make shirts, print business cards, stuff like that. So, yes, interesting indeed. And my new antenna is out for delivery. Very cool. The electrical storms are one thing I miss about Darwin. Those storms will throw up to 2,000 strikes an hour. But Darwin has the world's biggest thunderheads, about 15 kilometers high. Wow. We look to be getting 300 strikes per minute. The list says 405. Finally, a site that shows me where the lightning is. I have an app on my phone that will give me 5 or 10 warnings in an hour, but nothing happens. My Doppler, I can set it up to show like a little lightning bolt, that little yellow, almost like a lightning emoji. But it will show it on the map. But when we have a very active storm, you can't read any of the towns or anything because the whole map is cluttered with those little lightning bolts. So I've got my Doppler set up that different areas of the Doppler will light up and flash in a storm so I can see where the most active lightning contacts are, um, without it actually leaving the little lightning bolts everywhere. And I've got the warning set up on my phone where it says, I'll get like a little flash on my phone and it'll say, um, multiple lightning strikes in your vicinity or stuff like that. Um, Good morning, Bud Files. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well this morning. We have some weird weather where I am. A lot of big storms and hurricanes go right around us. This lightningmap.org is the best I have seen so far, and its delay is 2.2 seconds currently. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely been a very active, stormy spring. Um, I know not everybody had a super harsh winter. Ours wasn't super harsh, but it was harsher. It was more harsh than it's been in the past few years. And boy, when Groundhog's Day rolled around, he said 6 more weeks of winter, and winter was over. It started. I mean, storm, sunny day, warm day, sunny day, little cooler, storm. And that's pretty much how it's been. I'm just hoping and praying that since I am going to have to rig some kind of lodging up for next month, for the fair, that I actually have a clear weekend. I mean, whatever I do, it's going to have to be a lean to because, there's no finances to buy canvas and stuff that I need to build an actual tent and get it waterproofed and stuff in time. So I need to build a wooden something that I can, at least put towards wherever the storm's coming from. Uh, Stay dry that way. I mean, the one nice thing about it, it got colder than a well digger's butt in cast iron underwear last year at night, but because I was using a nylon canopy, I couldn't put a fire anywhere around it. By having my wooden structure, I could put a fire in the entrance and get the heat coming in, hitting the wooden roof, and circulating around. So it'd be nice and toasty this year. check it out in the morning, Tony, on the laptop. We got about 3 feet of snow this winter, but usually get maybe a foot or less. Yeah, we were just a little bit above that. That's normally, where we're at is that, you know, we might get a really good snow and get 10 inches or 12 inches, but then it's just going to be flurry, 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 flurry for like a month. And then we might get another good little bump and, drop 10, 12, 13 inches. It's not a matter of how we get during the normal winter months. We've had snow flurries on Halloween. Last year, not 2025, but 2024, we had 6 inches of snow on the ground on Halloween. And then it was gone by the 2nd of November. There have been years when we've had 13 inches of snow on the ground on the 5th of November. We've had years where we've had 13 inches of snow on the ground on the 11th of April. So, winters here are just weird. And it's all because of the lakes, surrounding us. Just never know what to expect with winters here. But this year has been, 2025. It did not snow on Halloween. It did not start snowing until right around the middle of November. And it snowed up until, the first week of March. And, I mean, our winter fell within that winter time period. There was no early, there was no late. But man, I'll tell you what, when it was, like I said, when it was over, it was definitely spring. April shower. They say April showers bring May flowers. Well, we better have a whole lot of flowers in May, is all I can say. Ah, man, there's a lot of lightning. Weather here has been crazy. Tassie got snow on Christmas Day, and that doesn't happen in the middle of summer. Not normally, no, no. Yes, there is a version for Australia. You have to click on Oceania. We had a snowstorm one Halloween that pretty much canceled it. That was back in 2011. You're welcome. Yeah, it's pretty much normal here to have at least snow flurries. Now, when I was a kid, when I was like, 11, 12, 13 years old, it seemed like it wanted to sprinkle or mist or even moderate rain on Halloween. And I've noticed in the last 20 years probably that you don't see rain on Halloween anymore. If anything, you'll see snow. And I mean, don't get me wrong, because we have had a couple Halloweens here um, in the last 11 years that the wife and I have known each other that were so unseasonably warm that people were dying out walking around in the simplest costumes. They were sweating to death. And then the next year they're wearing the same costume and they're freezing to death. They want to try to find ways of packing a sweatsuit on their body underneath the costume. And it's just a weird place to live. I'll be honest about it. It's just a weird place to live. You never know. Um, the Mrs. and I got together on Halloween of 1980. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's a heck of a night to meet. Did you guys meet each other at a Halloween party? Did you? That's really kind of funny. I don't know if you guys ever listen to it, but there is a radio show that's usually on in the mornings called like the Jubal Show. It used to be Brooke and Jubal in the morning, and then uh, Jubal left and he went to Washington State. He's in Seattle and does the Jubal Show, but it's broadcast all over the country. I just heard one the other day of a couple. They do this thing on there called the second date update, where when you go out with somebody and then they don't call you back, you can call the radio station. They'll get this person on the phone and they'll try to get them to explain what was wrong. This girl met this guy at a Halloween party, and he was absolutely in love with this girl. He did everything in his he treated her like it was a Walking Dead party is what it was. So everybody was dressed up as zombies. They had like really cool. She described his costume as looking like it was straight off the TV show. I mean, he spent a buttload getting a hold of people that did prosthetics and stuff and done airbrushing and everything. But once she's seen him without the makeup, that was the running gag for the whole episode, was the fact that she thought he was more attractive in the zombie makeup than he really was without it. She would never answer his calls. She didn't want anything to do with him because he was not attractive out of his makeup. So of course, you know, the hosts are teasing her about, him having to wear his makeup 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if he wanted to have a relationship with her. And she said no, because sooner or later he's going to take it off, take a shower or something, and I have to look at him and it's just going to ruin it. Did you guys meet at a Halloween party? No, I met her at the swimming pool a couple of months before the Halloween party. Gotcha. She only agreed to come to the party because I was not supposed to be there. But I was too hungover to go to the party. I plan to attend. I've heard some of those calls on YouTube. Oh, yeah, they do them on YouTube, they do them on TikTok. I actually seen them on TikTok before I seen them on YouTube. And now I have like regular videos that pop up on YouTube of the Jubal Show and stuff. I absolutely love it. Evidently, she knew she would not be able to resist me. Of course, you say that like it's shocking. I mean, who could resist you? I mean, especially now. Bulging muscles, the beard, the long locks. Bet you're walking around that place looking like Hercules. That woman still to this day looks at you like you are 25 years old. You sexy devil. The storm that hit us in 2011 damped 1232 inches of heavy, wet snow, and things got so bad that they actually had to cancel Halloween at 146 pounds. Right. I'm coming down to meet you, bud. I'm coming down to meet you. I'm in the last month and a half, I've dropped almost 10 pounds with this Majaro that I'm taking, and I'm still dropping. Right after the second eye surgery, my God, that's 2 weeks I can't take my Majaro. God, that's gonna suck. I'm gonna be chewing on the furniture around here to fill my to keep my appetite suppressed. But yeah, I'm gonna keep right on dosing. Of course, I've started lifting weights again. I've got some stuff around here. Not got a lot of equipment. I've got a couple bars. I got a curl bar. I got a multiplex bar, and about 300 pounds of weights. So I'm gonna start working on that. Hopefully by next year, I'm down around that 175, 176 mark, and I'm a little bulkier than I am now. Viking next year at the Ren Fair will be very cool because all I have to do is worry about wearing a pair of pants. I weigh less right now than I weighed in high school. I can't wait. We ain't seen shit for snow like we did in 77, 78. Oh my God, no. And we never will. I don't think we ever will. I think we got about 5, 6 feet of snow in a week. We were trapped for 10 days, if I recall. And see, that's about what we were in Indiana. We were trapped bad. I mean, we couldn't get the cars out because the drift that came off our roof completely covered them. Um, but they did finally manage to get trucks up and down most of the roads in town. Um, but still, like at our house, the drift came down, over covered my mom and dad's car and truck up, and went out and went across the street and clear up to the neighbor's porch. Um, so when they got the plow trucks to come through, some places had 4 or 5 foot wall at the edge of their property where the trucks pushed through. So it was a very interesting time, especially for a 10-year-old boy that love to be outside in the wintertime. And of course, my dad, he was a ding dong when it come to snow. I've told you guys about my mom trying to open the door to the living room, and it was a wall of snow. So we went out and opened the garage door, and Dad dug a tunnel from the garage all the way out to it wasn't all the way out, it was like 3 feet out to the front sidewalk, and dug the tunnel up the sidewalk and uncovered Mom's front door. And so she could go out her front door and walk around to the garage. And we'd fill wheelbarrow and our wagon with snow and take it out to the backyard where there was only about that much of snow on the ground and just throw it out there. But when they finally came through and plowed the roads, that's when we tunneled out from the garage and dug out Mom and Dad's cars until we finally broke light. Um, and when, Mom and Dad could finally get out on the road, and then that's when the snow collapsed. We could just shovel it right out in the alley, which nobody ever used for anything. But we would shovel it right out on the alley, and we still had the front of the house covered and stuff. At least you could see the garage. Um, School was out 10 days. Actually, town here wasn't horrible, but outside of town. Oh, outside of town, we had drifts going across roads 10, 12 feet. I remember driving around in Mom's car, and there being walls of snow where they had uh, plow trucks go down through there. Then they had another plow truck. They would close off entire sections of our 2-lane highway, and during certain times, and they would have plows running side by side or staggered, you know, pushing snow just to be able to get the highway open. Then they put these dugouts in the walls every once in a while for cars to pull into to let other cars go by. It, I hope we never have. As much as people freak out over little crap these days, I hope we never have to deal with that again. Um, um, Plows got stuck and burned. They had to bring articulated big. I lived on the southern edge of town, so we did nearly as bad as we could. The amount of snow you guys got over there is crazy. Um, the drifts were 14, 15 feet deep on the road north and east. Well, Cher, much like I always say to my friends, my family, my acquaintances in other countries, if you ever want to experience it, my couch is open. I'm still trying to get Alan back over here from England so he can experience winter here. I mean, he thinks he was totally shocked about our air conditioners and having central air and stuff and having window air conditioners and things like that, you know, he's going to be really shocked when he has to go outside and build a snowman in 14 or 15 inches of snow with wind chills, minus 30, minus 40. I like I like the idea of friends of ours from other places coming and hanging out and seeing things that they've never seen before. Get people my age that have never experienced a snowstorm or never seen a tornado or um, seen a lake with waves 17, 18 feet high, but so big that you can't see the other side of it. It's like looking at the ocean. No, thousands would die trying to rush to the store to stock up on what they should keep on hand in the first place. Getting out in heavy snow, brutal cold is what kills people. Now, see, to us, what I just described isn't brutal cold. We've had wind chills here 55, 60 below. And people tend to start staying inside when it gets that cold. But, they make gear now that are good, thinsulate and stuff that is good to 50, 60 below zero. Back in 77, 78, they didn't have that stuff. I remember my mom and dad taking our Western Flyer wooden and steel sled, putting on me and my sister's snowsuits. Now, understand, my mom and dad were slightly taller than a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old, but they managed to squeeze themselves into our snowsuits, even though they came like right below their knees and to their elbows. And they bundled on the clothes over the snowsuits and walked the 5 blocks to the grocery store and managed to bungee cord a bunch of bags and stuff to that sled and drag that stuff back home because you didn't think about that kind of thing happening. So you didn't stock up. We didn't have those smart prepper people that we do today that warn us, you know, be prepared, be prepared. So, yeah, that was uh, that was something I hope we never experience again because I don't think people who didn't live through that one could ever survive living through one now. I've been, I've seen, I'm talking below zero. I've seen water spouts here. When I was in the U.S. 2002, I wanted to go on a tornado chase, but didn't get the opportunity. It is pretty normal for it to drop below zero after a snowstorm. They had Carhartts back then.
and Northerner boots. My grandparents lived through the Depression, so they knew to keep staples on hand.
And it's funny you say that because my grandma and grandpa did. My grandma canned all summer long, so they had all kinds of stuff. Um, my dad and mom, not so much. But it was easier for them to walk 5 blocks to the store than walk 10 blocks to grandma and grandpa's and then 10 blocks back. So, I mean, they could have very easily went to grandma and grandpa's, got a bunch of canned vegetables and stuff like that. But and of course, I'm the only one in the family in probably 3 or 4 generations that smokes meat. So, when it comes to jerky, stuff like that, oh yeah, I've learned how to smoke meat in a regular gas oven, and it is not hard. It is not hard to do.
Um, be careful who you decide to chase with. Oh, definitely so. Definitely so. Some wait, some my mom wasn't a prep kind of person. I was just talking to the missus this morning about building a smoker. My grandmother taught me to always keep a supply of staples on hand.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a regular monthly visitor to the food pantry. So I have canned fruit, I have canned vegetables, I have some canned meats. Can't ever get the wife to use them. Well, except for, like canned tuna, canned salmon. But, I got canned pork in there. We have spam in there, a main staple during World War II. And yeah, we're good on canned goods. Fresh meat, fresh vegetables, not always.
Um, that was in 2002 when I was there.
See, you're way past the time. You got to come back for another visit. A lot has changed in 24 years. But all right, guys, I've been on here just a little bit longer than I planned. Oh hell, I've been on here a lot longer than I planned. It is time for me to go get myself cleaned up and everything, and hope and pray that it starts blowing and torrential downpouring before they get back at 3 o'clock, because they are not going to be back here by 12:30 or 12:15. It is not going to happen. Every time you drive by that DMV, it is packed. It is packed. So they are not. She should have made an appointment. I told her she should have made an appointment. She didn't make an appointment. I might be old. I might be ugly. I might be slightly senile. Nowhere near the president. Anyway, um, I do know a thing or two. She should have made an appointment.
There are 1,000 idiots chasing these days, maybe 10,000. Take care, everyone. All the best, Drew. I'll be thinking of you. Take care, y'all.
Thank you, Cher. Thank you, guys. Um, I'll post something. I'll post something Wednesday evening or Thursday on the community tab on both channels, letting you guys all know how the recovery process is and stuff like that. So, and if I can't do it, I'll have the daughter take a picture of me laying there in my funny sunglasses, and I'll have her post something on both channels. So, but like I said, no live stream next week. I will be at the surgeon's on Monday morning next week to get this one fixed. So it'll be 2 weeks. But again, I will let everybody know how things are going with that. So I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. And we'll catch y'all in 2 weeks. You guys take care.